for today. Thought, it snowed a couple days ago. I thought I could, kind of pop in, pop out. Oh my God. It was like, people are anticipating the second coming or something. I don't know what. Um, when I went to get in line, the line was halfway to the back of the store, and it's a pretty big store. And I decided in that moment I had a choice. I could be grumpy about it and ticked off and, kind of rant and rave and be super angry. Or I could just, be okay that, people are stressed out and I didn't need to contribute to that. And so it was a moment for me to just, to myself, to reflect and, like a bonus moment. So I took it as that. And it was fine. It went actually, they opened up another line just as I got to the front. So I think that says something about making decisions and making a choice to lead a stress-free life. But anywho, want to know how you're doing and how you're making out, and I hope that you are taking time for yourself and not running around trying to do a whole lot of shopping and spending all your money at Amazon or, some other website, with stuff that people probably only have one and, will never use. And, oh, thank you so much. Oh, that's so nice. Oh, you didn't have to. Really, really, honest to Pete, we really need to stop, all of this. I mean, the pressure that we put on ourselves to do things for other people. Yes, I know it's nice. Yes, I know a lot of people enjoy it, but there are a lot of folks who don't. So I've shared with you before my philosophy about Christmas gifts, and several years ago I decided to opt out of Christmas gifts for everybody. And I no longer exchange gifts because whose birthday is it? And I think that's what we need to keep focused on. So, there's one thing I wanted to share. I'm only going to be with you a hot minute today. Oh, I'm so sorry. I do this every time. I forgot to welcome you in and pour the tea. I'm pouring today cranberry blood orange. And if you have never had that blend, you're missing it. I'm telling you. If at all possible, try to find it. It is a fabulous, it's like a Calgon take me away moment. Okay, I'm dating myself with that with that one. But it's wonderful. Cranberry blood orange. I happen to, I think my brother bought it actually. But it's a really wonderful blend, so try to find it. Not that I own any stock in it or anything, but anywho, um, what I wanted to talk to you about today, it's the end of the year, and I know everybody's saying, thank God, because this has been an ungodly year, and I don't think all of us have been so anxious to see a year end as we are to see the end of 2020. But with the end of the year, one of the things that we normally start talking about is making resolutions. And, we've talked about that. I think we talked about it last year, like we were going to do something different. And I don't remember exactly what it was, but, resolutions, I feel kind of conflicted about it. I think the concept is really good, but the reality is nobody keeps them, me included. I mean, you say, I'm going to lose weight this year. I'm going to go to the gym every day. I'm going to do da 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 da. I'm going to read the Bible from Genesis to the maps. You say all this stuff. And then, before January's over, it's gone by the wayside. So I want to make a different kind of suggestion for you this year. I came across something that I think is really worthwhile and really wonderful, and I'm going to do it, and I hope you will join me. It is a book I came across, and you don't have to buy the book if you don't want to, but it's called My One Word. My One Word. And you pick a word, and you decide to focus on that word for the entire year. And according to the author, well, the book is actually written by two people. Mike Ashcroft, who is a pastor, I forgot, North Carolina, I think, and Rachel Olson. And Rachel had been doing this for several years. I think she started in like 2004 or something. And Mike Ashcroft, her pastor, invited her to challenge the church to do it. And so they liked it, and they've been doing it every year since. And in the book, she talks about some of the words that she chose and why and what she's choosing for this year. And it's really it's a really quick read. And if you know, at Amazon, it's like $4.99 or something like that. If you want to read the book. If you don't want to read the book, but you're interested in learning more, you can go to myoneWord.org. That's myoneWord.org. And there's a lot of free information there, suggestions on how to pick a word, kind of backstories about words that people have chosen and why. And some of them are really funny, you know, some of them are really amusing. But I think it's, you know, a really good idea. I mean, instead of, you know, coming up with this long list of resolutions, you know, and all these promises that you've made, that you're going to change or do something about it, you know, this year I'm going to do it. Instead of doing all that, just pick one word that represents what you most hope God will do in your life. That's really what the concept is about. And you focus on it, you know, for the entire year. So Rachel talks about how she collects images from Pinterest and makes a vision board from Pinterest around her one word. And she'll take you know, she rotates the images as her screensavers, and you know, so she's reminded of them. And so according to them, now this will be, you know, we're going to be trying this together for the first time, you and we're doing this together. But she talks about how you start seeing this word come up over and over and over throughout the year, and it's almost magical, you know, what's going to happen. So in the interest of full disclosure, I will share with you the word that I have chosen for this year. And, you know, I'll tell you what I didn't choose. I thought about a bunch of different things. I thought about, you know, finances. I thought about, I don't know, a whole bunch of trust. I thought about a lot of different things, you know. And then I said, well, let me just walk away and just see what really pops up. And the word embrace popped up. And I was like, oh, okay. So, the most common use, the one you think about, you know, most frequently is the embrace of a man and a woman, you know, a couple. And so, you know, that's one definition. But another definition, I looked up the definition of embrace because I said, you know, there's more to it. That's not really where my focus is. But it also means to cherish or to love. It means to encircle or enclose or to take up, like to readily embrace a cause or to avail oneself of. Those are from, you know, those are Webster's definitions. So I was like, oh, you know, okay, I like that. So then I decided to look up the occurrence of embrace in the Bible. And I found one from Song of Songs that just really, really resonated with me. And, you know, that Song of Songs is a very kind of graphic love story. And it's really a message of Christ and his love for us in a very physical kind of way. And so the the verse that I will be standing on is from the second chapter, the sixth verse, which says, "His left arm is under my head, and his right arm embraces me." And it, that stands for me wanting to have a new and deeper relationship with God this coming year. that it's far more intimate, that I hear his heartbeat, that I hear more directly and more specifically from him. That's my desire for 2021. Um, because I've been a little bit too much thinking I needed to do this all on my own. And I think it's time for me to let Jesus take the wheel and for me to take a step back, but in the interest of hearing from him far more specifically than I have been. Um, if you understand what I'm saying, and I think you do. So that's kind of where I am right now. And I hope that things are well with you. I hope that this resonates for you. That it's not about making resolutions. It's not about feeling like you got to run around like a chicken with no head to buy everybody a gift and go into debt for the umpteenth time and just do, buy, cook, and be all things to all people. I don't think that's what we're created for, and I don't think God gets any glory out of that. And it's time for us to stop, especially this year. Especially this has been the most difficult year. I don't care who you are or where you are or how much money you have or anything else. This has been an incredibly difficult year on so many different levels. And so I think taking a word to focus on and making a decision on what your focus is going to be for the coming year will be an incredibly helpful and incredibly impactful thing that you can do now, and start getting ready now for next year. Um, One other thing that I want to share with you, and this is just how things can happen when you're open. Um, I met someone a couple of years ago who had been given a gift. He actually had been very, very ill a year or two before that and had died technically and had come back. And when he came back with a gift. You've heard about people like that, where they can see, and if you want to be technical, I guess we call it gift of prophecy. But I had met him, and he told me that I needed to stop eating meat. And I thought that was the most ridiculous thing I'd ever heard because I liked meat. I liked chicken. I liked Popeyes. I did, past tense. Popeyes I thought was the best chicken ever. And when that sandwich came out, yes, I was one of the people that got in the line, or had my grandson to get in the line for me, actually. But I just, when he said I needed to stop eating meat, I immediately, and this is what we do, I started looking for the loophole. Well, do you mean all meat? What about chicken? Well, if you must, just eat white meat. Oh, but I like dark meat. I mean, I just gave this man fits because I didn't want to hear what he was saying. Well, I don't know what happened, but around Thanksgiving of this year, now this took me 2 years to get there because I, kind of half-hearted tried to give up meat and it lasted, I think, maybe a week. I don't know. But and I think looking for the loophole was the reason why I was not successful. When he said it to me, it resonated. I knew that was probably accurate. It's something that I needed to do for my health. Um, and there are a couple of reasons, for that. One, I don't like the way that our meat is raised anymore unless you're buying it directly from a farm. And even then, you kind of, I don't know. But anywho, I digress. Anywho, Thanksgiving of this year, I decided that the gentleman I had met was right, and it was time for me to stop eating meat. And so I said, okay, beginning of the year, I'm going to stop eating meat. And I said, I'll give myself, Thanksgiving and the holidays, and then I'll stop. Well, Thanksgiving was a struggle because I realized that I lost my taste for meat. I just don't want to eat it anymore. And so I started looking up, vegan. I'm not 100% there, you know. Um, I do use butter sometimes. I have an occasional egg sometimes, so I'm not like, strident about this. But Thanksgiving was the last meal of meat that I have had, and I do not miss it. I've kind of lost the taste, not kind of, I've lost the taste for it. And I'm not saying that as like a blame thing or this is something you should do. My thing is to be open to things that you need to change or tweak in your life. And sometimes it's a matter of pausing to listen, or coming back to something that you may have heard before, but just being open to what the Holy Spirit is bringing to you. And so um, I don't miss it. And I really enjoy what I'm cooking and what I'm making now. And preparing food is taking on a whole different, I'm enjoying the chopping, although I do confess the first couple of times I cut myself ridiculously. So my brother came home one day recently with this special kind of glove so that I can, stop bleeding all over the place. Because one time I managed to scrape my hand against the grater. I was grating carrot or something, and did a real job there. But anyway, I'll spare you the gory details. Anyway, the glove is, it was a wonderful addition to my kitchen. So, I'm, oh, so a couple of things. One is if you decide to make a change like that, it's amazing the kind of support you can find, because there are all kinds of groups on Facebook that you can join. I haven't joined any yet, but I did find a young woman on TikTok. She's also on Twitter, and I love her. Like, she is amazing. Her name is Joanne Molinaro, and she's Korean, which is interesting. But her handle, her name is the Korean vegan, the Korean vegan. And so she does these wonderful things on. I'm sure she's on everything, Instagram and every kind of platform. But she does these wonderful cooking things that are like a minute long. So they're very, very, very short and condensed. But she shows you everything that she's doing, but she overlays it with a story about something that may be completely unrelated. Her relationship with her dad. She's also an attorney, so she may tell a story about something at court or something, in the news. And there's this beautiful music in the background that is her husband playing the piano. He's a professional. And so it's just this whole thing that is just really, really wonderful. And her stories are so uplifting and so wonderful, and it's photographed so beautifully, and you just see her putting everything together. And so that was one of the things that really convinced me that it was time, that this was something I could do, so I'm sort of experimenting and adding things and taking away things and trying out stuff, and it's like, oh, I didn't know I liked tofu. Oh, this is pretty good. Oh, I made some cauliflower the other day that came out like Chinese, cooking. Like I don't know if you've ever had like orange chicken or anything like that, on sort of on that order. So it's that kind of consistency, but with cauliflower, you would never believe it. But it was actually really good. Really, so I've done it twice. I'm going to do it again this weekend. So anywho, I have rambled on. Um, I hope that you got two things out of it. One is myoneWord.org. My one word. You can change your life with one word. And so we're looking to change our lives in 2021, and we're going to do that by being focused on one word. And so go to myoneWord.org if you choose not to purchase the book, but the book is really good. So you may want to just go ahead and spend the $5, and get the book. You can download it right on your Kindle, and you'll be very happy. And then don't worry about making all the resolutions and all that. And pick your word. And I would love to know what your word is. So you can drop me a line in the Facebook group on Tea Time. I'll post something so that everybody can join in and share what their word is, and that would be lovely. I'd love to read about what you've chosen as your word for the year, and then being open to hearing from the Holy Spirit, and the whole thing about whether it's changing what you eat, or changing your attitude about things, or whatever it is that you want to focus on. That may be something. And it's amazing how easy it can become. I do not miss meat. I really don't. And sometimes I don't really like to smell it, to tell you the honest to God truth. Well, anyway, we're going to end here. That's about all I wanted to share with you for today. And I'd love to do the end with the reading from the Passion Bible, the devotional called "I Hear His Whisper," the 365 daily devotion. So the one for today, let me make sure I have the right day. Oh, I think I do. Yes, I do. And this is, it's amazing, but every day when I go to the day, it just seems to speak very specifically to, well, I guess that's just the Holy Spirit. That's just how it works, but the title is "Are Created to Know Joy Unspeakable." That's the title for today's reading. And this is what he says to you, beloved. "I have created you to be happy, which is why it feels so bad to be stressed, worried, and anxious. You cannot manage the actions of others, but you can, with my help, manage yourself. You can learn to find peace in storms. You can find joy, regardless of your circumstances. You can learn to let the opinions of others slide off of you. I alone am the one who defines you. I want you to experience a life of radical joy and peace that is not dependent upon your circumstances. I want you to look for the best, to see things from my point of view, and to go after a fulfilling life. Joy is much deeper than what happiness brings. Joy defies trials. It dares to laugh even when hell is closing in. It trusts in my love. It is free. It lives in radical anticipation of good. A life of joy is a life that doesn't ignore pain, but it is sourced in the reality of my presence in every situation. It is this joy, my joy, rising within you that makes you strong." And so the reading is from Romans 15:13. "Now may God, the inspiration and fountain of hope, fill you to overflowing with uncontainable joy and perfect peace as you trust in Him." So, my beloved, we're ending with what a word, what a word, what a word. That's a word for all of us to take into the closing of 2020 and the beginning of 2021, that we're going to stretch out a little bit further on our faith and believe a little bit deeper, a little bit more of what He has. And that's particularly important these days as we see such division in this country. And sometimes it feels like God has just completely forgotten about us, because how could we have gotten to this point where neighbor hates neighbor and we're so divided? But What he's saying to us today is for us to continue to trust in him, and he will give us joy unspeakable. So, beloved, with that, be blessed this week. Continue to just trust and believe and live in hopeful anticipation that life is not happening to you, but it's happening for you. And with that, I will close. Hate to leave you, but I must go. And I pray that you find strength and joy in this coming week. And until next time, be blessed. And remember, everything you want is on the other side of fear. I love you, and we'll talk again real soon. Take care. Bye-bye.